Immigration is a hot-button issue in the U.S., with undocumented immigrants at the center of political debates and public discourse. However, there are many harmful misconceptions about undocumented immigrants that often shape public opinion and policy. This video uses data and research to debunk some of the most common myths about undocumented immigrants, shedding light on their contributions and challenges. Undocumented or unauthorized immigrants are people living in the U.S. without valid visas or immigration documents, therefore lacking legal immigration status. This could be because they entered the country without proper authorization, overstayed their visa, or violated the terms of their admission to the U.S. Undocumented immigrants can belong to any race, religion, nationality, or other identity group. Undocumented immigrants choose not to pursue legal immigration pathways because they don't want to wait their turn. The reality is that there are countless reasons why someone may choose not to pursue legal immigration pathways. Legal immigration is largely inaccessible to most people. Options are extremely limited, expensive, and often lengthy, taking years or even decades to complete, especially for those who don't have family or employment connections in the U.S. For those fleeing violence, persecution, or severe poverty, applying for and obtaining legal status before arriving in the U.S. is sometimes impossible. For many, the chance to secure safety, higher wages, and a better quality of life in the U.S. outweighs the risks of living without documentation. All undocumented immigrants are criminals. This statement is misleading. Simply being present in the U.S. without legal status is not inherently a crime. For example, DACA recipients have protections that allow them to remain lawfully present in the U.S., even though they are technically undocumented. Similarly, overstaying a visa is a civil violation, not a criminal offense. While it is punishable by deportation, it does not carry criminal penalties based solely on this infraction. While entering or re-entering the U.S. without being inspected and admitted by U.S. authorities is generally considered a federal crime that may lead to criminal charges, it depends on the circumstances. Importantly, asylum seekers can legally apply for asylum in the U.S. regardless of whether they entered the country through legal pathways. Research consistently shows that immigrants, including undocumented immigrants, are less likely to commit crimes than U.S.-born individuals. In fact, communities with higher immigrant populations often experience lower crime rates. From the year 1980 to 2022, as the immigrant share of the U.S. population more than doubled, the total crime rate dropped by over 60%. State-level analyses also find no significant correlation between immigrant population sizes and crime rates, debunking the misconception that immigration fuels criminal activity. Undocumented immigrants don't pay taxes. In truth, undocumented immigrants contribute significantly to the U.S. economy through various forms of taxation, including sales taxes on purchases, property taxes through owned property or indirectly through rent, and income taxes via automatic paycheck withholdings or by filing income tax returns using individual taxpayer identification numbers. In fact, a recent study from the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy found that undocumented immigrants paid $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022. Undocumented immigrants are a major drain on social services. The claim that undocumented immigrants are a significant burden on social services is largely unfounded. Studies show that over their lifetimes, immigrants, regardless of legal status, pay more in taxes than they use in public services, helping to support programs and services for all Americans. Federal law restricts most undocumented immigrants from accessing major public assistance programs like Medicaid, Social Security, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or food stamps, and other means-tested benefits. Instead, their access to public services is generally limited to emergency medical care, primary care at federally qualified health centers, public education for children, short-term use of shelters and soup kitchens during emergencies, and the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, WIC, which provides nutrition support for pregnant and postpartum women, as well as young children. Undocumented immigrants take jobs away from U.S. citizens and are a drain on the U.S. economy. The idea that undocumented immigrants take jobs away from U.S. citizens is a misconception rooted in the false assumption that the labor market has a fixed number of jobs. In reality, there are more job vacancies than there are workers available to take them. Immigrants, including undocumented individuals, often fill critical labor gaps by taking on roles in industries like agriculture, construction, and food processing that many Americans are unwilling to do. These contributions not only meet essential labor demands, but also drive economic growth by supporting industries that depend on a steady workforce. Undocumented immigrants don't want to learn English or assimilate. The truth is, many undocumented immigrants strive to learn English and integrate into American society, and they're increasingly doing just that. But for many others, barriers such as limited access to English classes and fear of deportation can prevent such efforts. Immigrant integration programs that offer resources like English as a Second Language (ESL) classes play a vital role in addressing these challenges. That being said, the degree to which one wishes to learn English and assimilate into U.S. culture is a choice that every person, regardless of background and immigration status, is free to make for themselves. The myths surrounding undocumented immigrants perpetuate harmful stereotypes and misinform both public opinion and policies. However, the data reveals a different story. Undocumented immigrants play an essential role in American life, contributing significantly to society, the economy, and culture, all while navigating immense barriers to success. As the dialogue around immigration continues, it's important to move beyond misconceptions and instead focus on understanding the immigrant experience. By shifting the narrative, we can inspire meaningful immigration reform that promotes a more inclusive, informed, and equitable society for all.